I think when you are an older player that comes into a new scene like this, there's a lot of value that you're able to bring to the table. You know, when Haze is on the team, I'm sure that he's been there and he's, you know, been that voice of reason, like the wise father of, of the team.
It's always a challenge. Trying to see eye to eye on things is difficult when you're born, a decade apart. So whenever things aren't going well, I want to be able to help. I want to be able to explain it in a way that doesn't, upset my teammates who, for the most part are younger.
Listen, moving forward, if we're going A main and they're rushing, we fall back, we don't fight. Don't stack up all one side.
On their left side, yeah, I agree. Crossfire is
Crossfire.
better.
Don't give you any comfort, any zone to work with. Wardell with the close range op shot, please.
Flash cat, guys. Flash cat, peek it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Let's go!
Let's go!
Having a teammate and having a friend like that could be there to kind of like guide you through it is something that's super valuable. But man, Haze just ain't out here with the cane and his old glasses, man. He's chopping it up.
Haze gets it fragged right through the dark cover, and that's gonna do it. GG.
I can OP.
Haven't got the spike down yet because he's gonna TP to the other side over to B.
What a play by Haze. It's just that game sense thing, right? He knows from all these years.
Nice.
Beautiful, James.
I don't know if it's the titanium hip. I don't know if it's the new golden plated hearing aid that we hooked him up with, but he's fragging. And I like that.
That was beautiful. And there's Haze on the outskirts, fast enough to be able to help him out. And oh no! Bye-bye Renegades. TSM moves on.
I think we just have a good mix of motivation, experience, and talent. And I wouldn't say we have necessarily an X factor. I don't know. Maybe it's like old man strength. Maybe that's what it is.
And I definitely respect the old man strength, for sure. The titanium hip coming in hot, folks. Anyway, you got Golden Boy and Sean Gears back on the mic for game 2 as we take our way over to Split. This is going to be Envy's map pick. Now, I'm just going to give you some stats real fast, Sean, and you can do with them with whatever you please. But Envy have a 83% win rate on Split. TSM, on the other hand, 60% win rate. And on top of that, their defense win rate, Envy, let me just 81% defense. They're going to be starting on the attack first, but I would be very fearful if I'm TSM going up against that stalwart defense of Envy on Split.
Now, what I want to see, judging by your stats right there, is how does TSM approach their defense side, right? At the A bomb site. It's so hard to deal with the vent hits combined coming through A main and ramps. And that typically is done by a Sentinel. Right? Sentinel can lock down those areas. So you can see TSM not opting for a Sentinel, Cutler on the breach. And meanwhile, FNS will be the only Sentinel in the server on Cypher. And you'll see a lot of trips in like A heaven, inside of ropes, and that will free up the A player to not have to worry about those until they go down. And if they go down, they rotate accordingly. TSM is playing a little bit blind in that area. So it's really going to come down to, how well their A players play. Do they play super aggressive on A main and try to take the fight to someone like FNS, who's very often defaulting A and super aggressive, actually. So I think we might see like something similar to what we just saw in Ascent, where Sabroz was taking the fight to FNS all game. We might see them do that again.
Yeah, that could very well be the case because FNS clearly just wasn't prepared. And, you know that Sabroz is going to do that, right? But just because you know doesn't mean that you're ready for it. That's how good Sabroza is. He makes you. I actually think it's funny because if I saw correctly, his tag in game is Mind Thief, which is really appropriate for Sabroza because he makes you think he's going to do something and he does something completely different, and it's part of the joy of watching him play. That said, though, I still got to go with Envy on Split, given the history, given their win rates, given their success. This is a team that has put so much work into this map, Sean, and it has showed in the results.
Yeah, it has. And something I've noticed in the Valorant scene, kind of similar, going back to like even the Counter-Strike scene, is if there's a map people don't like to play, like it used to be Split, now it's kind of leaning towards Icebox. The team that's the best on that map is the best team in the region. And right now, Envy's the best team on Split. So that is a large reason why they've had so much success since bringing Food and Crashies.
All right, well, here we go now. Who's going to draw first blood is Wardell is going to get information in mid. No one really peeking just yet.
Oh, this male is going to be under siege. The breach flash is going to come through any second. There it is.
Oh, Wardell missed the jump. Oh, no. He thought he could actually jump around the corner. Now Haze needs to get out of there. But he'll be stopped instantly, and just look at the aggression, the attack for Envy right out of the gate. And then they're just going to march right into the defender side and get even more intel as to where they are, leaving just Drone and Sabrosa to have to deal with this. But Drone, with the hot hands, yet again taking out Caboose, does not seem to be getting away from the utility in this series so far.
No, Sabrosa still has the paint shells on deck. That could be huge here. How are they going to deal with this Raptor position, though?
Yeah, there just really isn't many in the way of options for them there. Yeah, there's the answer. Answer for Crashies. Shoot him in the face. Click on some heads. Done. Easy clap. All right. Now, NB kind of going right back to where they were before, by the way, Sean. You know, winning the pistol round in game 1, and then they continue to put some more rounds together. They were looking really good. But then something switches for TSM. This is the thing that Envy needs to shut down.
Yeah, and here we have B main fight coming in from Sabrosa again. Although the difference is now is Caboose is on this Raze, and he's doing the same thing right back at him. So these duelists are going to be battling here.
Oh, big tag too. Force Sabrosa back. Get some intel while that was happening. Mid has been under siege yet again.
But if you look, he's actually flashed B main for Sabrosa, so he has B main control. But it shouldn't matter. B is completely lost.
Oh, well, watch out though for Sabrosa. A quick pop there takes out Caboose. They should be all right to put this spike down though. On the flank is going to be FNS with the Spectre, and there you go. Wardell just got caught off guard. He was looking at a different vantage point just to try and see if he could catch someone, but you know, that male area will always be a threat when you're trying to retake on site like that. Sabrosa and Cutler in a familiar situation that Sabrosa was in with last round with Drone. I mean, they do have some utility, but it really just isn't much that they could do here with the weaponry that they have. So this is essentially Envy walking away with this one.
Indeed, yeah. It looks like they're going to attack this B-bomb site early in the game. And if this is anything like how FNS typically calls, this is a game plan type of thing, right? You want to hit B early so that way the other team respects that. They cheat rotations towards B, but really your main focus throughout this match is going to be A. And I would be willing to bet soon we're going to see an A hit coming out of Envy. Probably around like this. Because TSM sees how easily they're taking B, they're going to overcompensate. You can see there's 3 people now leaning towards B. And they're going to throw a light fake towards B. And they're going to pounce on a weak A site right here.
Yeah, they're going to do the same thing that they were doing in that last round, or at least give them some caution. A similar smoke that is going to be played at vents. Maybe the breach. Ooh, okay. Mummy's going to get held back here for a moment, but nothing all that crazy. Wardell, he's just going to play in top of male. Sabrosa actually pushes out, and Food is anticipating this. Oh! Oh no! Food was not ready for that! At all. That was huge. Big kill for Sabrosa.
The aggression continues from Sabrosa. He's just had so much success pushing these B mains on both maps.
This is ridiculous. Now, Mummy's going to be into an encounter here in a moment against Haze. Is Haze prepared?
Yeah, and this is where a Sentinel would come in handy, right? You would typically know when someone has walked up these A ramps. But you can see TSM is blind to that right now. They don't know. Oh my god, the flick coming out of Wardell. He's now back in the B site. They know. They are now aware of what Envy has taken control of.
And that angle was so pretty as well, because it just does not allow him to be able, the breach to be able to get that angle. He's holding it. He just needs to back away ever so slightly. Cutler's watching this lane as well, but FNS will get the better of him and will be able to upgrade the weapon in turn. But what looked like a decent round for Envy at the start has quickly become TSM not in the worst of positions here. A lot of unhealthy players. Crashies most definitely for Envy.
Sabrosa does have the paint shells. 1 frag, he gets the showstopper. this could easily swing in TSM's way. But right now, the post-plant positions on Envy are just nested in this site.
I just don't want to give them an opening or an opportunity. Yeah, they're playing far back in the left corner here. There goes the tag. Haze is going to go for the shot. Does manage to nail it. He doesn't care that he's still going to be tagged. He's just going to continue to commit to this. And then Wardell around the elbow bodies Mame. And that will be TSM's first on the board here. Yeah, he just didn't care. I mean, that dart is just going to live in him. It's one. It's merged with his body.
Yeah, in that titanium hip.
Yes.
Chilling in there.
I'm actually shocked that it was able to stick on it, you know, because you think like with the titanium it would bounce off, but just done really
very
well
well
that
done.
way.
Great.
And again, I don't know how
TSM.
titanium works, so that's
Yeah. Very light. It's good. It's good. It's good.
yeah,
It's good.
fair enough. we'll be there soon. All right, well now, with that round win, TSM, they're feeling pretty good. Credit goes to Subroza here for what he managed to do at the start of this. You know the Food's going to be playing this one cautiously, and now we got ourselves an op from Mame on the other side.
And if you look, Crashy's actually fault lined to that position where Drone is standing. So you can see Envy's feeling pretty good about dry peeking this. Like, pop the cage, the cross. And this is, again, they're attacking this area where Sentinels typically dominate.
Oh, he's not revealed himself. Drone has not revealed himself at all, but he's going to take this fight, and Caboose was prepared for it. Just a great reaction out of him. We'll continue to fight in this one. I think, yeah, I was going to say the Boombot is going to identify that one player stacked in there, just not in a position to blow up the Boombot. But that still is going to be some valuable information for them.
But the biggest thing here, Golden Boy, is that Mame has this angle on the rotate. No one can come into the site, and they're aware that the breach is heaven. But look at this. TSM doesn't care. They don't care.
FNS repositioned the cam up high. So that angle that Mame was watching is still going to be continued, is still going to be monitored because that cam is there. So if they think that there is an opportunity for them to take A, they'll have the camera for at least some information. But they're going to have to make a hit happen right here, right now. And Wardell is prepared for it. The flash does not connect. He's going to get himself one mark. Is he looking for another one? No. Crashy's going to stop him dead in his heels. Now looking for another one is Haze, as both players are going to be stuck down low. Watch out for the showstopper, and it lands on Food. Rosa around the corner. Rosa for one more. He's going to have the paint shells there, and FNS had no choice but to challenge, and Subroza locks the round in yet again for TSM.
And he takes back the operator for Wardell. Man, what a big-time play from Subroza. But honestly, the in-game leader, Cutler, on TSM to call that B stack, despite losing A heaven, having no control over A side, the confidence. Holy. And that just goes to show you the preparation between these two teams and how TSM, these players have played under FNS as an in-game leader in Counter-Strike. They know how he calls. And that might have played an effect into that round.
It's like you're just in the mind of the enemy here.
Oh!
Boombot actually connected there with Subroza. Might be a problem later on in the round. We'll see how this one plays out, though. While that was going on, some activity over toward mid. You also have FNS working with the camera, getting information on ramps.
Spike drop. Watch this.
Now, Mame using that Blade Storm, and Rosa's going to be prepared for this, potentially.
They're going to pop through with the breach flash. Subroza might get completely blinded by the breach.
He's waiting for it.
Whoa,
He does
this
have
is
Wardell on
terrifying.
the cross. There goes the flash, and there's one knife in. Does he manage to get another one? Wardell actually bails on out of there. Not a winnable opportunity for him. And because of that kill, and because the utility from the Sentinel isn't there, though, but they might actually just have the angle. They get one. They get two. Oh, Drone. He got two targets out of that one, and that just leaves FNS alone. That was a very, very valiant attempt, and that actually could have worked out, but Drone had managed to make a lot of progress on ramp and was prepared for it. Look at this right here again in the replay.
Yeah, it's just very unfortunate because Caboose pops the showstopper. He could have taken out Drone, but he focuses on Cutler. The showstopper almost takes out Cutler, but of course it doesn't, and he makes him pay for that, following up with two of his own.
Do you think that perhaps, like, because TSM's been running with this triple duelist, and I've seen so much conversation online about triple duelists, and some people love it, some people hate it. But do you really feel like perhaps like having Sentinel is a little overrated in some instances? Like TSM clearly make it work.
They definitely make it work. I think it's the comfort and knowledge from their players about rotations. Oh, but this is a B hit.
Oh, they're not
He's going to give up the site. But look
he
at
has no choice.
Sabrosa again. Sabrosa's on the flank. Are they going to be ready? But Drone doesn't care. He's going to pull back the Omen, which then frees up Sabrosa's lurk. Oh my goodness.
But they do manage to stop Wardell, but it ain't gonna matter when Sabrosa's still in play. Can someone please stop this man? Finally, Crashies is gonna end the run of Sabrosa. It's about darn time. He's playing a default. The Boombot's still at work though. It's now just left up to Crashies. What can he do? The fault line doesn't connect and it's Drone. He got 2 kills from that run it back. Insane value from that ultimate to give them that retake cleanly.
Honestly, the biggest thing about that run it back 2K that you mentioned, he takes out FNS, which opens up the flank for Sabrosa. The trips after the last patch gone.
That's true.
The Omen, Food completely unaware. He was watching the flank. He was watching it up until that 2K happened. Oh my goodness, Drone enabled Sabrosa on the flank right there. Beautifully done.
Every interaction has consequences in Valorant. That's the best part about this game. And with the recent updates, the Sentinels to Cypher, it's one of the reasons why, you know, perhaps we're starting to see this shift. But not going to speak too soon here. Still plenty game left to go, but watch out. Wardell does have the mark, and you can just that discipline, the trigger discipline from Wardell is absurd.
He's not aware though. There's someone close to him.
Oh, he heard it instantly. He bailed out of there. He wasn't having any of those shenanigans.
Yeah, we've seen Wardell fluff a couple dashes so far this game, but that was one where he definitely had under control.
Yeah, he needed to get out instantly, be in the position he finds himself right here, and that is going to be the round. Just another flawless by Prime Gaming for TSM. I mean, Sean, they are looking beautiful on this defense thus far. Every player is performing.
Yeah, and that's terrifying if you're an Envy fan right now, because Wardell didn't really show up, if I'm being honest, in that Ascent game. But here you could see Split. He's had a lot of impact early on, sitting at 7-4 after 7 rounds.
This is a shift for this team, though, right? An evolution, if you will, of TSM. It was always about Wardell, 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 right? That's what always was the focus. If Wardell wasn't performing, then TSM weren't winning. But it was only going to be a matter of time before that, just the authority that Drone and Sabrosa command on this roster and the roles they play, they're so good. Now, though, as we look forward to this round here, we are going to have some opportunities in heaven. Mame watching the angle.
I think the thing to look out for here is Sabrosa's showstopper. Is he going to pop?
I was going to say, he maybe won't need to.
What a maniac. Goes 1 for 1 at B heavy. You can see Cutler is now cheating towards the B site. TSM is split. I think either of these sites would be a good option for Envy right now.
They have the choice. What do they decide to do? Food is going to be lingering outside of Garage. FNS is now marching his way through Sewer. Heaven seems to be the play with 40 seconds remaining on the clock. They're going to have to make this choice right now. What do they go for? Haze is anticipating a potential push here. They're hearing some noise, so they're expecting it. They're expecting movement. This is where the movement starts to happen. Oh, and a TP actually in the back. And Haze, he's going to stick it. Haze is going to get this kill. No! It's Food who comes out on top. He baits off the shot from Cutler, and then Crashes is there for the trade. What a jiggle peek there, by the way, from Food, to be able to give him the opening, give his teammate Crashes the opening to get that shot when he dropped down from Heaven. Now it's just Drone. He has some curveballs to get into the side if he wants to. Does he decide to do it? But wow, Sean, what a great execute there. And that teleport, he knew the teleport was coming, so he was anticipating him around the corner to go for the shot. But instead, it's Food who comes out on top.
Yeah, now it leaves Drone in this almost impossible scenario. You can see he can take out one in Crashes, but he falls to Food. I couldn't agree more with you, though. Food, that was such a heads-up play to toss that jumping jiggle peek, because when Haze hit the 2 bullet, I thought the round was over with the breach ult. Food comes in huge with the trade, and then jiggle peeking on Cutler to not allow a follow-up was massive. That was massive in how that round played out.
Like, how do you have the foresight to just think like, oh, let me jiggle peek here?
Push the middle of the open. I'll just jiggle peek the middle of the open right now.
It's so good.
So good. Wardell's going to get aggressive here into middle. This is a new look. Is Envy going to be ready for this?
He's waiting for the flash. He sees where Food is.
He walled Food. Food's at half health. Oh my goodness.
Food wants to get, oh dear. Okay, I don't think that went exactly where he wanted to, but you know, it's okay. No one was in mid, and Crashy's had his back, totally.
You can see Sabrosa has taken B main yet again.
Look at where they have Spike. A is going to be their play, and FNS has been doing a lot of work over here, just making him think that he's just on the lurk, right? And then Mame all the way up ramp. But even better is Wardell in this passive position on the defender side spawn.
He's going to get this frag.
100%.
This Raze will definitely look for this kill.
Oh, the flash. They were anticipating it so smart. So smart there to just force him out, but he still manages to land the target. Cutler's there to help him out now. They've gone full commit mode here. What do? As FNS is going to be trapped underneath the catwalk. Food does not get the shot off. FNSO, along with Mame, might be able to nail these shots. Only gets one out of that whole engagement now. 1v2, but Sabrosa on the flank. 1v3, apologies. And Sabrosa, yet again, showing up for TSM, locking that round down.
Man, TSM with this lineup. I mean, honestly, Envy is going exactly at what I thought they would. They would go at this A heaven, and it would be super difficult for TSM, right? Envy has the right read. They creep up to the right spot, and that's when they bust the execute. But somehow on the rotates, TSM, it just looks so strong. Haze baiting the, the spawn peek out of Food, and Wardell coming in right at the perfect time. Cutler with the trade when someone's about to take out Wardell. Everything is just so perfect when you watch TSM right now.
Okay, so on B site here at main, Food did TP, and I believe Sabrosa heard it. But FNS, though, does manage to nail one target. Actually gets 2 kills out of that one on Caboose and Crashies. Mame, though, dives right into the site, and Food will be with him to plant that spike. Haze on the outside. You're going to have Cutler by Heaven and Drone coming up on the rear here. What I'm looking for is Mame. What does he do? How does he hold this one off with Blades?
Yeah, it is pretty much all on Mame here with these Blades. Can he stop this Heaven hit? There's a flash about to come through by Drone. He dodges it.
Only one player left alive. It's going to be Food. He's stuck back in the pillar. And Haze, he heard that. He knew where he was. It was that golden hearing aid. And this is another round for TSM.
My goodness. I love the different looks that TSM is giving right now. You can see Haze actually aware that Mame had the Blade Storm this round. He decides to literally play in spawn. He's not even playing in the bomb site at all. He's completely giving it up. That's such a new look for Envy, and if I were FNS, I'd be so confused right now. I don't know what to do.
I do wonder if that TP gave him some kind of like note, because he was in a position, I believe, to hear it. Anyway, though, we'll see what they end up doing this round. As we got half buys here, Eco for, not half buys, but Eco for Envy. So far in their attack, it has not been what they've wanted, and just another great use of the utility there. Because as you said, they're going to keep going for a Heaven, and they'll have the utility, TSM, to just hold them off for the time being. But this is going to be big, as Sabrosa, he's waiting for this. If they drop down, does find one. Oh dear, that's not good. That's definitely not good. 3 players down just like that. No real choice but to just push onto a site. And Haze is waiting for the push. I think he thought that maybe one more could be corralling from the defender side.
Spike planted.
But instead is actually going to get around to defenders, and then the last player tucked away at pillar. And they're going to get together. But Wardell on the flank was waiting for him. Had just this inclination that one could be making their way around. This just leaves Crashies by himself with no real options. But they did get the spike down, so a little extra cash in their pocket here. That's it. Wardell's letting him know, Sean. He's letting him know.
Well, boy, I want to ask you a question. How many times... Oh, that's the Pride Gaming flawless right there coming in. Actually, I didn't realize that none of them were taken out that round. But how many times have you seen someone inside of ropes like this in a 5-on-5 holding that side and not the other side, right?
Yeah.
Normally, people come from middle, right? But
Uh-huh.
TSM right now is playing a totally different game than most of these other pro teams. They have no Sentinel. So they're playing such a different style, right? Sarosa could have easily gotten flanked from the other way. Could have easily. But they're so used to the timings right now in the pro scene that he knows it's not going to happen. It's very unlikely.
Oh, we're going to get aggression right out of the gate
my
here. Oh, no. Lord have mercy. Okay. Well, Sabrosa doesn't quite get the kill, but all these players are going to be stuck in the outside. 2 kills are going to be exchanged. Both of the raises are going to go down, but that could have been really bad.
I love it. I love it. He's disrupting the strat. FNS just has no idea anymore. I mean, different look time and time again. Sabrosa's just absolutely crushing them right now with this aggression.
But look at this, right? Because of that play and because of what they did, now Drone can sit inside events and he's okay. Like, everyone knows that, it's going to be fine. Look where Wardell is. He's okay. He's got that locked down.
Look at Wardell. I'm sorry, look at Cutler. He's aiming at the wall with his Rolling Thunder. This B hit is just wrecked. Oh, but Mame dodges it.
Mame does dodge, but he's so weak. And then the counter Rolling Thunder to respond. Run it back here for Drone. I mean, Mame was dead to rights there. It simply was just not going to happen. 2 players left standing here. You want to get out of this one with a respectable 8-4 in the half, but at the current rate, oh, he's going to TP. He's gone. He's gone, and they know this. He's got no choice. He's going to put the spike down, and he needs to hope that Crashies is going to get there in time, but look at the way that TSM are flying. He has no time to put the spike down. He has no time, and now it's just Crashies who has to make a miracle happen in 13 seconds, and that just ain't going to happen. That is a 9-3 half on defense for TSM here on Split. Envy now have a lot of work to do, but for Envy fans, I'm going to say this much. Their defensive win rate is 86% on Split. This is a team that knows how to play defense, but perhaps TSM has downloaded them here, Sean.
TSM looks so hot right now. I don't know how Envy is going to come back in this half, but going by your numbers, 86%, they should get 10 rounds this half. So, this could easily be Envy's game, but they have to kick off this half in the right way. They have to win the pistol. I mean, Wardell is feeling it. Look how pumped this man is. He can taste the finals at this point.
Don't get too comfortable, though.
The stack on A site. You see FNS with the nerd cam at B heaven. He used this a lot during the qualifiers. He'll idle this, and honestly, not many players were aware of it. You see the smoke coming in top male, which actually helps out this camera even more. But Drone's looking at it. Drone is super aware. He's shooting up at the sky right there. This is an A hit, though. They're trying to pull food over towards B, but they haven't done it.
There we go. Movement now is going to happen. Crashes is waiting. As soon as they come out of heaven, he's going to hit that flash. But I don't think it connects with anyone, really. Sabrosa, as he comes around the side here, might hit him with a right click with the classic. 2 kills, though, on for TSM, 1 for Envy. Maybe they could work around with this. Sabrosa and Wardell, very, very weak.
Spike planted.
Just going to have to be some heroics here from FNS. Oh, he looks away at the wrong moment, and he pulled the attention away. 2 right clicks, only 1 remaining, but it's going to be Haze against 2 members here of Envy, and Envy managed to get this pistol, just like they did at the start of the game. Brilliantly done by Envy.
Can you believe that? Can you believe that, Golden Boy? The 4-person in the site retake. These guys are huddled around the spike like it's a bonfire. They all go down. What timing for FNS?
I'm just shocked that they all look that way.
That's insane to me. No one looking at the elbow peak. FNS slips in at the perfect time. All part of the master plan. All part of FNS's master plan. He's on the way to set right now.
Because typically 2 people will leap out of there to try and draw fire, right? So maybe that's why, but even then, it's just the fact that no one stayed committed to the elbow at all was rather telling. Here we go, though, for Envy. things could be looking up for them. We'll see how they play around with this. They'll have the better weaponry, but Subroza does have a Sheriff, which could be an issue.
And you can see there's that trip at A Heaven that helps out those 2 players at the A site. But it's not going to matter if one of these Sheriffs, you know, just hits a 1-tap on you.
So he's got this wire in the back, and Food is waiting for activity here. It's not happening. Instead, it's going to be Crash who has to deal with all these players. He has no idea the Wardell's actually snuck up behind him because of Tailwind. Food's got a lot of work ahead of him, though. Does manage to nail 2 shots there. TSM get on site.
This is a very, very scary retake here for Envy. Paint shells on Caboose could clear out Elbow and then allow for the kill on Wardell. But Wardell's going to swing!
Oh, shot.
Caboose takes him out. Now 3-on-2 in favor of Envy. Subroza very low HP, stuck outside the site.
Oh! Oh, he drifted up! He went Tailwind up draft right into the site. He gets right on it. He's going for the defuse. Subroza got caught by that pesky trap wire, and that is going to be the round. I did say, though, watch out for that share from Subroza. FNS is going to clear that one out right then and there, and Envy will march their way forward, inching ever so closely to this TSM lead.
Man, Mame is playing a different game than us. that Tailwind up traps. This guy is... I don't even know what he's playing. Doesn't look like the one I'm playing, though.
Man, brilliant play there.
And FNS just keeps using the setup, and some people in chat might be like, oh, he keeps doing the same thing. Honestly, TSM hasn't seen it yet. So
they have no idea.
They have no idea that this setup is like this. So they're just going to keep running the same thing over and over here at B. And you can see Subroza still bullying this B main. He wants fights.
He's trying to bait something out. We respect that from Subroza. He always is down for a one-on-one. And 9 times out of 10, and he knows he can do it because he's more than likely going to win it. He's just that good.
Look at this setup at A. This is very scary for Crashies and Food. They're playing between the hit. It's going to come from A main and Rope simultaneously.
Crashy's got the intel, but Drone still gets the kill. Okay, though. Okay. Let's wait this out, though, because Food hasn't revealed himself yet. They don't know what's going on here. Actually gets one, gets a second here for Food. Big kills. He never gave up his position, and now they know that one's going to be around on the flank. This is going to have to force Haze to have to put attention over here while his teammates have to deal with the players coming towards screens. Should expect more kills to come through here, and it's actually Drone who takes out... What? He TP'd in front of him?
Oh my, Golden Boy. Did we just see the real Omega Lolman play? After what was an amazing 2K, the itch for the TP comes out from the Omen main.
Foolish.
FNS can't really do much.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. What?
FNS mad. Haze embarrassed his fellow Omen. Oh, no, no, no.
What was he?
One player remaining.
Yeah. Oh, no. That just,
Oh, no.
Now that teleport worked, right? Like, that one made sense.
It's an itch all of us Omens have, okay? We all want to use the TPs. It's the most fun in the game, okay?
I recently started playing Omen myself, and I've been making some real Pepega teleports, so I can
Yeah,
tell you, I totally understand.
It's way easier than you would think. I promise you that. But how does Envy bounce back? That's the real question. They don't really have money. They don't have the credits to purchase a full buy here, but they can't afford to lose any more rounds.
Get out of my way.
Perhaps this Mummy Bladestorm might be enough here. This is new, too, because Mummy here at mid, he's waiting for any push, but they haven't actually gone this way all that much. But instead, look at B. Look at B. Subroza and Wardell have made their way inside. They actually get both kills on Mummy and Caboose. They were completely isolated. Subroza was weakened, and he still might be a factor here. He still is a factor with 10 HP. I'm just glad that Crashies ended this insanity, but Drone will get this spike down. Now it's FNS and Crashies working in tandem together. Can they do this? Should say working in tandem.
This seems unwinnable. They might have to go into a save here. This is... Yeah, you can see FNS hightailing it out. He's trying to, get back into sewers where he'd be safe. Oh my goodness. There's something about the confidence on Subroza. He knows he can win all of these aim duels. He knows he doesn't need the flashes. He doesn't need all the support from his teammates. And he is standing out, like a very bright light in this server right now. He is playing a different style of game than anyone on Envy, and probably anyone on his own team. He is confident, and he's opening up rounds time and time again. He has been a massive difference maker here today.
And this TSM squad is scary for so many reasons, not just because of this shot calling that we're seeing, or even what Subroza is doing. He's 20-11, just a crazy series from Subroza. But if Subroza were not to be there, not be at that point, you best believe that either Drone or Wardell would be carrying that slack as well. This is why there's so much praise for TSM. But there's also a lot of praise for Envy with the way that they work around one another, the trust they have for each other. They simply just need to they have to stop allowing Subroza to be able to take this B for free, because he's been doing it so much and he's finding tons of success.
Fire in the hole!
He does it again.
Oh.
He gets in there again.
This man is on a mission.
He's out
trying to get to the finals, Golden Boy, and no one's going to stop him right now. So he's going up heaven. This guy's a maniac.
He's using their own dark cover. Oh, okay, but finally the insanity is going to come to an end here. That said, 2v3, TSM have the advantage. As Mummy's looking around heaven, he doesn't have a view because of that dark cover that they put down, and Wardell ends up getting the frag. It's now just left up to FNS, the IGL. Can he find one kill? Get the second, but it does not happen. Instead, Drone is there for the secure, and we are now at match point. Series point. TSM, one round from going to the grand finals here at First Strike North America.
Oh, what a heartbreaking way to kind of falter in the ending stages of this game. I mean, when you think about these pro matches, you never really expect someone to just dry come into the B-bomb site like that. It's so rare on a map like Split, where it's, defender heavy, that when you watch a pro team, they have crazy execs to open up these sites.
Yeah.
That's not what we're seeing today out of
Nope.
Subroza.
Here we go. The tension, it's mounting. As Envy know that this is it, their tournament life on the line here. Drone doing something that we haven't quite seen all that much of. This mid control. The camera's not there anymore, actually. As a matter of fact, the camera's going to be positioned outward toward B to help out with any information that could be coming through from Subroza. But instead, he's actually going to be holding back, waiting. He's not playing aggressive. He's been doing this every round. That's the reason why they full committed and put so much investment on B, Sean.
This is insane.
One
It's
man
like
has been able to do this.
Everything these guys do is just the right read right now. And now they know exactly where this breach is. They know the rotate's going to have to come in. And you can see Food smokes the main, plays catwalk. But now there's no one holding that A heaven position. And Wardell has taken that angle with his operator.
Drone hasn't moved. Drone hasn't moved. He hasn't moved and he's waiting. Oh, the camera connects though. Now he doesn't know where FNS is, but that's okay. I think they're fine with that.
30 seconds left.
They're just going to go and play around this A site.
This is going to be a super difficult hold for these two players in the A bomb site. Here comes Food, and he falls.
Oh,
As
no.
does Crashies.
Oh no, last player left alive, it's FNS. Only a few seconds left, but folks, this could very well be it. Envy's life in the tournament on the line here. The push comes through, and Wardell locks it in. TSM are going to the grand finals of First Strike.
Hats off to TSM.
Domination.
Boy. Absolute domination from them. Battling through the entire qualifier. These guys are on a massive win streak right now, and they're doing it in a way where no other team in First Strike is. They have no Sentinels. They're running triple duelists. They've created their own style. They've embraced their strengths. And goddamn are those strengths very, very, very good.
After TSM lost in the quarterfinals of the playoffs at NSG close qualifiers against 100 Thieves 2-0, everyone thought that the era of TSM was rapidly coming to a close. But if there's one thing that we've learned about this team throughout covering them from Ignition Series and all the random tournaments we've seen them, their ability to just adapt, to change things up, to innovate themselves and continuously improve, it's something that I don't think like a lot of squads are capable of doing. That said, Envy's resurgence from Together We Are Terrific to picking up Food and Crashies and this kind of rebirth of this squad. If you're an Envy fan, you're very happy with this team today. There's still a lot of work to be done, but right now the day belongs to TSM, Sean. And we were questioning whether or not they were looking really good in the quarterfinals against Renegades because they were playing against Renegades, a scrappy team, right? Some people felt like maybe they shouldn't belong there. We were thinking like, oh, maybe like TSM were just playing an easy opponent. Clearly, that's not the case. They just owned everyone that they've seen, Sean. It's ridiculous.
No one's gotten double-digit rounds on them yet in these final brackets, right? I mean, they've just swept their competition, and they're now waiting in the grand finals. And they get to watch this match unplay, find out who their opponent is going to be tomorrow. But I think what is super important is I believe the grand finals are best of 5. Am I right?
That's right.
That is correct. And TSM has been vetoing Icebox all along so far. So we might be able to see, a little bit of a weakness in them tomorrow because they'll be forced to play a map that they typically have been vetoing.
To be fair, though, so has everyone else.
That's very true. Envy played it. Envy played it, and they owned on it, actually.
Yes, but also Immortals didn't know that B existed on the map. So that also was kind of a problem there as well. Hey, not to take anything away, though, from Envy. What an incredible run that they've had. Sean, TSM, though, the day belongs to them. They're moving on to the grand finals. And it has been a joy to be able to see this unfold. A joy to be able to cast with you as well, my friend. For now, let's go ahead and send it over to our analyst to break it all down. There's a lot to talk about, and we have more matches to come. Enjoy. Dash, over to you.
You really gonna do Immortals like that? You really gonna do Immortals like that? But oh my goodness, dudes. TSM completing the speed run. This was an absolute speed run to the grand finals tomorrow on Sunday. And Jordan, I'm coming to you first because this was the map this was the map for Envy. This is where they were supposed to get it done and push us to that third and final. What happened?
Well, 1,000%. Well, I mean, I think that we were talking about this during the games, actually. We were all just kind of chatting about the speed in which all of this was kind of going down, right? There's obviously a lot of respect for both TSM and Envy on either side. And we could see that in the amount of times that they were taking round to round. And then all of a sudden, when it got to about 3-5, things started speeding up. TSM found their momentum. Here's the reason why Split is my favorite map in Valorant. There is, at the very root of things, a very linear approach to either T side or CT side based on mid. You have to have at minimum information on mid, but what that does, based on what T side can do to punish CT sides, that put CT in a less advantageous, is that the word? Advantageous? There it is, that's the one. But it puts them in less advantageous situations, choking them into ropes or into mail. And we saw that happen definitely where TSM was concerned, and it was a lot of fun to watch.
I think for both teams, though, when you're looking at that mid control, they were both happy with giving it away for most of the rounds. Especially you're looking at Envy, they're able to put the camera up on B Heaven, and then they stack up towards the B side, 2 players on A with Crashies playing with the fault lines with the breach. So you're really just trying to hold down anchored sites and play for retakes wherever you want to go. And the mid fights maybe happened once or twice with Wardell trying to opt towards that mid side, but how they really countered that for Wardell opting on mid, I got to give an honorable mention to Crashies, the way that he's been playing with Breach. Yes, he wasn't high in the fragging department, but he still had 9 assists. The way that they exploded into a pistol round for Envy on the attacker side, using a fault line, or actually, sorry, it was 2 flashes going in from Breach, and then the fault line to get into the site for them to explode. He did a good job for that, and he also was the one that was able to stop Sabrosa's reign going with these frags. Like, he was getting multiple kills, Crashies was there to stop him. So Sabrosa was maybe a couple of those 7 kills.
Yeah, Veli, I want to come to you, talking back on that point about pacing that Jordan brought up. You know, those initial rounds being very slow, very methodical. We were seeing a little bit of that Envy that we expected to see with really coherent game plans. But it fell apart, and it felt like they were getting desperate almost way too early on in this map.
They were definitely desperate, but you know what? I can't blame them. We saw that pistol round. They were able to push in and get all the kills that were necessary. And then after that, it all fell apart. But, you know, you're going to have to give credit to Cutler as well, who's on Breach. He's been holding it down with the flashes, the fault lines, you know, the aftershocks, everything in his arsenal. So when it got to time for Envy to push in the side and get the kills, I mean, they were struggling. Food, once again, I believe it was 8 and 15. Before the game started, I said it's going to be up to Envy to get the entry kills, the opening frags, and get in the site so they can have a chance. He had 0. He had none that map. We saw him get picked off when, I believe it was Sub Rosa going around garage, and we saw him trying to plant the smoke. Boo just wasn't in his space. He just was taken out of his game. There was nothing Envy could do against this TSM squad.
That other shadow step too towards that A ramp when he went across the other side, and I think it was Haze. Yeah, Haze just looked at him and was like, what are you doing there? And
like, stop.
Just pops him off. So he was definitely not in his element, unfortunately.
Well, speaking of Haze, we're going to hear from him in just a moment, but I want to get one more word here from Jordan Fisher on this TSM squad moving forward towards the grand finals. If they're playing like this, does anyone have a shot to take them down before we even see the second semifinal? I mean, they look on another level.
They definitely do, and I think that they are. They all perform this way, and we were able to see that today. I mean, their superpower that I talked about at the beginning of the day-to-day is their unpredictability and the fact that they can adapt to anything that is thrown their way. The speed, the pace of the match, composition, site setups, executions, post-plant, all of these things, they are able to adapt on the fly, and we can see that in how they perform. It's a song and a dance for these guys, and I'm excited to see
Produced by Jordan.
where that takes them.
Produced by Jordan. A song and a dance, a pretty one at that. TSM absolutely smashed their way through the semifinals just as they did the quarterfinals. It's now time for us to throw it over to Smix, who's standing by with TSM Haze.
Thank you very much, Dash. Congratulations, Haze. I saw yesterday Wardell tweeted ahead of this match that you guys would stuff FNS like a Christmas turkey dinner. I believe those were his words verbatim. And you guys kept your promise. It was a really dominant showing from TSM over Envy today. I think a lot of people were looking forward to this series, hoping it would be a really close one. And it started off that way on the first half, but then it just turned into what felt like a stop. So personally for yourself, especially after seeing how much they've improved with food and crashies and even becoming the #1 seed coming into this event, is this what you expected?
No, the showing that they had today is not, I would say, normal Envy. I don't think they were just feeling it today for whatever reason. Some days you just get on, you're hot. Some days you're cold. This felt like a cold day for them because, when we play them, normally it's very close, almost every map we play. So I expected 3 maps, all 3 to be very close. Yeah, I mean, we came out playing really well. Our comms were good today. We were all playing confident. And that obviously helps, but I also don't think they were playing that well today.
How much of this do you feel experience has to do with it? Obviously, you guys are a roster that's one of the longest standing 5-man rosters at this tournament. On their end, Food and Crashies joined just a couple of months ago. So do you feel like the lack of experience compared to you guys played into a factor here?
Maybe a little bit, but these guys might not have been pro for very long, but they've been around the pro scene for a long time, back in FPL and in the Counter-Strike days. So they've been at that level for some time. I don't know that it was experience, but maybe they couldn't handle the pressure, but I don't believe that either. I think it was just a matter of, us coming out swinging.
You absolutely did. It just felt like you had their number from beginning to end. FNS, the IGL on their side, a player that you know very, very well as well. So I'm curious, coming into this series, how much of the prep work was anti-striding FNS specifically versus just playing your own game?
Yeah, so, any team we play against, we're going to be looking at, trying to find tendencies on all the maps that they play, especially the ones that they like to pick. And John is a really smart IGL. He really knows how to mix things up. There are a lot of fakes. So, coming into this match, we really made sure that we weren't going to bite on any of his fakes. He loves to do that. He likes to make you rotate and play you like a fool. And, we basically said before the match, whatever you do, don't rotate. We're not going to bite any fakes. Just shoot them. All right. Don't trust your site, your site partners to get kills. Don't worry about rotating.
Well, that plan certainly worked out for you guys. We talked about FNS as an IGL, but I also want to touch on Cutler. He's had a great transition towards playing that Sentinel comp to that heavy duelist comp from you guys. I want to touch on that a little bit. Speak to us about what was the decision making for that, and how do you feel that transition has been for Cutler moving away from Cypher into Sova and Breach?
Yeah, so for Cutler first, him IGLing has been really good for us. He's probably the most calming presence on the team. When I was IGLing, I'm a very emotional person, so I have ups and downs. Whereas Cutler's, he's steady, and that's kind of what you need in IGL. You need someone who's steady, level-headed, is always thinking about what to do next. And him going from Cypher to Sova was honestly a decision I think that was made through a discussion between himself and Coach Taylor. But it's working out great. He's a fantastic Sova. He's really good at getting information, knowing when to use his abilities to get that information, and that's really key for an IGL because he basically dictates when the hits are going to happen. So that's really important. As for the duelist comp, I mean, the game's just naturally very aggressive. It's kind of leaning that way. We've seen a lot of teams, especially in other regions like Korea, have these really aggressive strategies and comps that seem to work really well. And we took it and we copied it, and we kind of put it into our own gameplay, and it seems to work. So and also just seeing from Pugs how aggressive everyone is and how much it works. You can get away with murder in this game. You really just can. So we said, why 2 duelists? Why not 3? Let's just try it. See what happens. And it's working. We can't rely on ciphers or killjoys to watch our flanks. We have to be more mindful of it. But because we come from Counter-Strike, we have that Counter-Strike background. It's really not a big deal to us. We didn't have that in Counter-Strike. We had to watch our flanks. So it just works for us.
I think a lot of people are used to, when looking at the TSM roster, seeing big numbers from players like Wardell, Sabrosa, Drone, but on Ascent, I have to highlight Cutler. I mean, this is a player, no one knows him on the roster as well as you do, but his usage of shock darts and just in general, his Sova play was outstanding. Did that surprise you at all, or did you know he had this up his sleeve?
What I think happened, now this is just a theory, but he's been playing World of Warcraft lately, okay? And on World of Warcraft, he is a hunter. So I think he channeled a little bit of that into his Sova gameplay today. He's really been practicing his bow skills. Dude, he was on fire. Every shock dart that he threw did damage, it felt like, or got a kill. It was an amazing performance.
No, honestly, it was so cool to see. People can make fun of you, Cutler, for being boomers or whatever, but he showed up on the server and you showed up as well. And I want to touch on you as well, Haze. You are a player that has been in the scene in Counter-Strike for such a long time. You retired from that CLG roster at the end of 2016, and I do think there were some questions as to, will we see Haze at the top of the pro scene again? To go from being there and to now being in the grand finals of the biggest Valorant event this year, that's such a world of a difference. Tell us, what does this journey mean to you, and what would it mean to clinch a victory here at Valorant First Strike?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a hell of a ride. I never expected to be playing pro again in anything. It was never even my intention to play pro in Valorant. When I left CLG, I still had the dream of playing, but I also had very serious reasons for leaving. And one of them was I felt like I wasn't performing at the level I needed to. So I really tried to work on myself and get better. And after a while, I just figured, I was like, whatever, I had a good run. Let's try the streaming thing. And I did that for a while, but when I started playing Valorant, I never had the intention to play pro. It was just for fun. I was playing with my friends, and I'm a competitor. So I entered tournaments just to do it. And then, I had some, I have really good friends, and they really talked me into playing pro. I remember I'm a pet or Chet. Really, he's the main one who talked me into it. He's like, you should just go for it, man. You're actually good. And I'm like, okay, like, why not? So yeah, it just happened to work out.
Honestly, huge shout outs to I'm a Pet then for encouraging you. And honestly, it's just so inspirational, the story that you have. I think being and becoming a pro is one thing, then returning and playing at the highest level again at an esport is quite another feat. So honestly, huge props to you for that. Last question before I let you go. Grand finals, cool, but I know you and the team will not settle for anything other than first place. And if you want to get that, it's going to be either 100 Thieves or Sentinels. And I'm curious, are you hungry for revenge on 100 Thieves, or are you leaning into the age-old rivalry that you guys have always had with the Sentinels?
Everyone wants to see Sentinels. Let's keep it real. Everyone wants to see us versus Sentinels. So, I mean, in an ideal world, we're playing Sentinels. I think they could get upset though. 100 Thieves looked a lot better than I expected. I will say I think their win against us was a fluke, but they're still a good team. And if they beat Sentinels, it would be impressive, but they're not getting through us. So I would like to see TSM versus Sentinels in the finals. Yeah.
I think there's a lot of fans who would agree with you. Thank you very much, Haze, for sharing your thoughts. When we come back from this commercial break, it will be 100 Thieves versus the Sentinels, so stay tuned.